Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound. Real Madrid have witnessed a COVID outbreak in the squad and the COVID-19 has been gaining ground at the Vuelta Babas. The likes of Modric, Marcelo, Bale, Lunin, Asensio, Rodrigo and the assistant coach David Ancelotti have all been tested positive. We've also received news that Modric has been tested negative once, but he still seems to have cold symptoms and hence he will not be a part of the Cadiz game. So it's very unfortunate that the players are having to suffer. In fact, we are again seeing a spike in the number of COVID cases all around the world. It has also been brought to my notice that one of the channel members has contracted the virus. So it's very important that we mask up, keep sanitizing, get vaccinated as soon as possible to avoid future complications and fatalities. We also find that the virus is mutating in different forms, making itself more powerful to weaken the immune system of individuals. So it's something that we have to deal with. That is the reality of the world at the moment, and we have to accept the reality and take appropriate measures in the fight against the COVID-19 virus. So extend our best wishes to all affected and let's hope all of them can recover at a speedy rate and return to the normal life as soon as possible. But coming to the main agenda today, Real Madrid would be hosting Cadiz at the Santiago Bernabeu. The Los Blancos have won 4 of the previous 5 meetings against Cadiz, with the only loss coming in the beginning of the 2020-21 season. It was a major upset early on in the campaign, but Real Madrid got the scores even when they travelled away from home to beat Cadiz by 3 goals in April this year. So it was a season where Cadiz were newly promoted and they did well against the big boys. They fought good battles against Atletico, Barcelona and of course Real Madrid. But if we talk about the way they are playing in the current season, we can say that the spark they had in the previous campaign has suddenly gone missing. They're 18th in the table with just 13 points from 17 games, and if we have a look at the form in La Liga, in the past 5 matches, they have 3 losses, 1 win and 1 draw. So certainly Cadiz have not been able to replicate the heroics of the previous campaign. They find themselves in the relegation zone and the team needs to do a lot of work and must improve if they want to spend more time in the Spanish top flight. And coming to the formation that we may see from the team in yellow and blue, the manager Alvaro Savara is likely to set up in the 4-4-2 formation. That has been the lineup that the manager seems to like. In the midfield, we may be seeing Jens Johnson and Thomas Alarcon. They have been the preferred option in the middle of the park. In the wide areas, even Alejo and Alex Fernandez will be providing the threat down the flanks. If you remember the previous time we faced Cadiz at home, Alex Fernandez, who happens to be the brother of Nacho Fernandez, got one over his sibling. He had a very good game and was instrumental in Cadiz securing the historic win. So it would be essential that Real Madrid keep track of him and attempt to cut down on the crosses coming from the left-hand side. And finally, attack, Cadiz would be fielding the vastly experienced Alvaro Negredo, and he would be accompanied by the main man, the highest goal scorer with 5 goals this season, Anthony Lozano. And coming to Real Madrid, this as you see is the squad list for the game. We can see the midweek happenings has left Ancelotti with relatively less options. There were doubts regarding the fitness of Benzema early on, but it seems that he has got himself ready just in time for the game. Isco misses out as well. Apparently he has been tested negative, but since he has a sore throat, Real Madrid do not want to take any risk by including the Spaniard in the squad. Dani Carvajal has also been suffering from muscular discomfort, so you can see the options are pretty limited. In attack, Ancelotti has just 4 players available, and this looks like the game where the coach may be handing a start to Eden Hazard. The statement of the coach in the press conference did indicate that the Belgian would be starting the game, and also we may get to see the likes of Valverde and Camavinga getting minutes and making some valuable contribution in securing another 3 points. Moving on, let's hear what the coach had to say in the pre-match press conference. Ancelotti first analysed the opposition and the improvement Madrid have made over time. As he said, we are playing against a team that maybe has less qualities than others, but they have a very clear identity and are well drilled. They make use of set pieces and are quick on the counter-attack. It's a game like any other, and if we have to defend D, we'll do it. This isn't going to change the style from the last few games. We have to stress that we have defended well. We've improved a lot since the first part of the season on the defensive side. This is what improved the most since the beginning of the season. Then the coach was asked about the issue of Eden Hazard lacking rhythm. As we know, the Belgian has received very few minutes this season, and on this the coach said, the first part of the season he was affected because Vinicius and Benzema worked very well. I would rather have Asensio and Rodrigo on the right and alternate between them, but that being said, Hazard has everything to make a very good second half of the season and be of service to us. And it's quite true what Ancelotti has been saying. The form of Vinicius Jr. has been such that he has been almost undroppable. He has taken everyone by surprise, and that is the primary reason why Hazard hasn't received much minutes this season. But having said that, today looks like a good day for Hazard to show some of his qualities. We are playing with few attackers, and Hazard has to take this opportunity and try to show that he can still be useful to Ancelotti. I don't expect him to be playing with prime confidence, but the least we can expect is for him to show some some good movement, some deft touches, some good passing, and if he can get a goal, that would be fantastic too. It would certainly boost his confidence, and one good performance may just provide the impetus that Hazard has been looking for all season. So let's hope the Belgian can make a meaningful contribution today, and hopefully he gets himself back into Ancelotti's plan by displaying those qualities that have got him all the credit in the past few years. Moving on, Ancelotti was then asked about the situation of Luka Modric. The reporter asked the coach if Modric would be available for the game against Athletic, and Ancelotti said Modric has tested negative but has not trained. He's a bit tired and he's had a fever these days. He won't play against Cadiz, and then we have to assess what the regulations say and see if he has to wait 10 days or if he can train. We have to clarify this issue because it still isn't clear yet. And then the reporter again compared the current season of Real Madrid with that of the 2014-15 season, where Real Madrid were close to winning silverware but late season results proved to be very costly, and on this Ancelotti said, "It's difficult. What I remember clearly is that we had a very serious injury to Modric that disrupted the midfield. I remember that some games Ramos played there, like the Champions League quarterfinals. In one part of the season we didn't do so well and we made it to the Champions League semi-final. We were also one goal away from the final and 1 or 2 points away from clinching the league title." And lastly, the coach was asked if Barcelona are the direct title challengers this season, and Ancelotti responded, "No, they are not direct title challengers right now because they are behind Sevilla, Atletico and Betis, but Barcelona have the quality to fight it out until the end, and if I were Barcelona coach, I'd say the very same thing." So that concludes the press conference of Carlo Ancelotti, and let's wrap up this video by doing the match predictions. In goal, we would be having a first choice keeper between the sticks. In the backline, we would be missing Dani Carvajal, so it would be interesting to see if Ancelotti decides to go with Nacho Fernandes or Lucas Vazquez. Ancelotti may choose any of them, but considering that we don't really have many right wingers available, I think Vazquez can be used as his attacking game is much better than Nacho's. In the midfield, Ancelotti has to contemplate on whom to start in place of Modric. Valverde seems to be the obvious choice at the moment, and he should be accompanied by the regular starters Casemiro and Toni Kroos. And finally, in attack, all the news is pointing towards Hazard starting the game, but here the question is, will Hazard play on the right in a 4-3-3, or will we switch to a 4-3-1-2 with Hazard playing the number 10 role? He would be feeding the likes of Benzema and Vinicius in that case, and if I had to pick, I would play Hazard more centrally because that is where he prefers playing, and since Modric is out, Hazard can also drop deep and compensate for the lack of creativity we may have without the Croatian. And lastly, a few sources have also been reporting that Ancelotti may be open to using the 4-4-2 formation. Vinicius and Valverde will position themselves on either side of the double pivot, and up top we may see the duo of Eden Hazard and Karim Benzema. So that, as you see, is my predicted lineup, and as for my scoreline predictions, I'll predict Real Madrid 3, Cadiz 0. This looks like a relatively easy game when we compare it to the matches early in the month. The players have also had sufficient rest, and that is why Real Madrid should not have much trouble collecting the 3 points tonight. And that is all I have here. Do let me know how you're feeling ahead of the game and what scoreline are you predicting right in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid, and as always, Madrid.